Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of Fearless Tarot, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation. So if you like my approach to tarot, you are going to love learning tarot through this book. Today it's time for the Oracle Reveal. So earlier today on Instagram, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals. And the animals were the ant, the otter, and then also the dragonfly. And I asked you to use your intuition and to look at the image and ask yourself which animal is getting stuck in your head, because that animal has a message for you. For those of you who picked the ant spirit, the card says it's time to collaborate. And ant is all about patience and tending your goals and just being very tenacious and focused on what you're doing. And bit by bit, you'll eventually reach your goal. If you picked ant today, the first card we're going to go over is where it's best to place your focus for this next week. And we have the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is a card of generosity and giving. Sometimes it indicates in life that you will be the one who's the receiver, that you'll be receiving something from someone else. And sometimes this card is a signifier that you will be the one giving. On this card, you see this wealthy merchant who's giving to the poor. He's handing them coins, and he's also holding those scales in his other hand. And the scales are representing the balance of karma. And whenever this card comes up, it tells you to look out for angels unaware in your path, in your life, or look out for opportunities for you to give in some way, or to show compassion, or to even balance out your own karmic slate. Whenever the Six of Pentacles comes up, it also indicates that help is on the way. So if you are the one who is experiencing need, or you're in a challenge, or there's some difficulty, this card will often say someone will come into your path that's going to be helpful for you. What we also got for the ant people is advice from their inner wisdom, which is the Two of Swords. And this is a card of feeling in between. On this card, you see a woman who's in between the sky and the sea. She's in between the new moon and the full moon, and she's balanced between those two swords. She's also blindfolded, which is symbolizing that she can't see what's coming up next. But if you look at her state of being in the card, she's meditative, she's calm, and she's serene, because she understands that the in-between times of life are where the magic is really happening, just like at dawn or dusk when things are shifting, or in the middle of a changing season. That's where really magical things are going to be happening or taking place. So whenever this card comes up, it tells you to be at peace without everything being all figured out, without being able to see everything exactly as it's going to transpire in the future. Find your center and be meditative and really channel that energy of in between, because it's not something to dread or fear. It's actually very magical. And then finally, we have a mythic archetype that's going to help the ant people. Boy, this is, I think, the 3rd week in a row we've seen Pandora, the woman who opens up the jar and all the plagues of mankind come out. And sometimes Pandora is that image as well of clinging to hope, because the one thing that was left in her jar before she closed the lid, when she let all that stuff out, was hope. And hope is going to be preserving you as you're going forward. Sometimes Pandora is just saying, don't lose hope. It may be a time of transition with the Two of Swords. You may need to ask for help if you need it with that Six of Pentacles. But it says that hope will return, and hope is remaining in your jar. For the next people, we have the Otter people. And if you picked Otter, the card says you are never alone. And in the Native American medicine card book, they go over Otter being a symbol for feminine energy, feminine medicine, playfulness. And so this could just be a time of relaxing and also embracing your own feminine side, whether you're male or female, really letting yourself feel more receptive at this time. The first card we have is where it's best to place your focus if you're the Otter, and it's actually on that Healing Temperance card. This is going to be a time of replenishment. The Angel of Temperance is pouring the full cup of water into the empty cup. And this card will often come up when there's something depleted, there's something that's feeling empty, there's something that needs reinforcement in your life. And this card just says you don't need to do a complete life overhaul. You just need a gentle alteration right now, where you're putting some of your energy back into that depleted part of yourself. Temperance reminds you that if you give back to that part of yourself that is so thirsty, you won't regret it. And sometimes this is a card of self-care and really standing up for doing what you need for your own healing process, so then you can be there for other people later on. So this is always a card of replenishment. Advice from your inner wisdom from the Otter people is that Five of Pentacles. And that is the traditional poverty card. But when I see it next to the Temperance card, it can indicate that you're almost impoverishing yourself with some self-care right now. and that it's so important to give yourself the richest parts of yourself at this time and not to feel that you can't receive that. It's okay to give back to yourself. Also, when we get the Five of Pentacles, it's a card of fear of worthiness, poverty consciousness sometimes, and it's just a fearful card of like, will there be enough? Will I be okay? And that Temperance card is really just redirecting your energy to your higher self, which is saying there's plenty, everything's okay. Refill that part of yourself that feels empty, and your physical life is going to follow suit. You're going to see blessings coming out externally if you give back to yourself internally at this time. And then finally, we have a card that's going to be the mythic archetype that's going to be helping the Otter people. And we got Bellerophon. He's the one who tamed Pegasus and tried to fly up to the heights of Olympus. And his card represents humility because the gods got offended that he tried to get to the top of the mountain and they struck him down. So whenever this card comes up, it's indicating like a hitting of a rock bottom, or sometimes getting to a place in your life where you can't go forward anymore. You can't keep thinking pridefully that you're, Superman or Superwoman and can handle everything, but that you do need to give back to yourself at this time. Otherwise, you're just kind of flouting your own mortality. And the lesson of Bellerophon is always to remember that you're a mortal. You are mortal. You have a body that you have to take care of. It doesn't matter how spiritual you are. You do need to take care of that. So right now, it's good to give yourself what you need at this time and just focus on healing. And then finally, we got the people who picked Dragonfly. And the card says, truth transcends illusion. So if you've picked Dragonfly, it might be a time of seeing through illusions, looking at things clearly, and really just getting refocused or recalibrated on what's real right now. The first card we got is where it's best for Dragonfly to place their focus, and we got the World card. And this is a card of graduation, transcendence, and also completing old cycles. Whenever we see the World card, it's a card of mastery of one phase of your life, one part of your path, and getting ready to transcend that part and go to the next level. The World card goddess is holding those two white wands, which we see on the Magician card as well. But the Magician holds his wand in the right hand, which means he's a master at sending his energy out, getting it out into the world. When we see the World goddess, she's also a master with the wand in her left hand, which is about receptivity. And so this could be a time where you're not only needing to give, but you're also needing to receive. And you'll notice that each animal this week had that sort of give and take energy to it, with temperance, with the world, and even that Six of Pentacles. So this is going to be a week where everyone's going to want to really monitor how much they're giving of themselves, and that it's okay to give back to yourself as well, so that you end up feeling okay and replenished and reinforced in the parts of your life that really need that. The next card we also have is advice from your inner wisdom for the Dragonfly people, and then we got the beautiful Queen of Cups. She's very sensitive, and of all the Cups cards in the tarot, she's so unique because she puts her feelings, her emotions into the most elaborately decorated chalice. It looks like the Ark of the Covenant. It's got angels on it. And this is representing that the Queen of Cups sees her feelings as sacred. She doesn't just see her good feelings as sacred, like the joy and the happiness. She also sees her sorrow, her grief, the difficult things as necessary, as sacred, as something to be honored. Whenever I see the Queen of Cups next to the World card, it represents honoring your whole journey and not cherry picking or wanting to block out the parts that are unpleasant, but really digging into those unpleasant things, really facing them and really sitting with them and feeling them and incorporating and integrating them into your consciousness at this time. This is going to help you process, and it just might be a cathartic time to release some old feelings or emotions. And finally, the mythic archetype for the people who pick Dragonfly is Hermes. He's back again. He's the god who sends symbols and signs on your path, or gives you little cryptic messages. And when he's next to these very important, like graduation cards, emotional Queen of Cups, introspective cards, he could just indicate that there's something that is calling you as a message from your inner self. So it's time to listen to that little inner voice and really tune into it. Really give that some attention at this time. So that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please go on over to elliotoracle.com and book a tarot session with me. Otherwise, I hope you all are doing well and staying healthy, and I want to give a thank you to our service people, to our medical people, and also to the people that clean. I mean, the cleaning people. What would we do without you? So thank you so much, and I will see you all next week.